my friends, this is Sabrina with Sabrina's Crafty Corner or Sabrina's Crafty Home Decor, depending on where you're watching from. This is a cutting board that I picked up from Goodwill. I really liked that unique handle that it has, so I decided to pick it up and refurbish it. So I've already sanded off the old finish on this cutting board to be sure that my paint adheres completely. And I'm giving it a couple coats of Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel that I picked up at Walmart. And once that was dry, I applied this Crackle Medium by Folk Art I ordered on Amazon. I guess some Walmarts carry it as well, but mine doesn't, so I get mine on Amazon. And I'm just using a soft bristle brush to apply that. And I'm giving it a good even coat to make sure I don't have any areas that are too thick. And I did apply this to the front, the sides, and the back. But as you can see, we're leaving the handle in its natural state, the way it was, because I really liked that handle. And then you're going to dry it. So we want it completely dry before we add our top coat. And I'm going to use my sponge dabber to give it a top coat of, this is Waverly Plaster chalk paint, the color being plaster. And I'm just using my sponge dabber to apply that because I found it easier when working with Crackle Medium to apply the top coat with a sponge dabber versus a brush, if you're able. And again, I did the front and the back. Now, if you like my videos, please be sure to click the subscribe button below if you're watching from YouTube. Then click on the bell, then click on all, so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. If you're watching from either of my Facebook pages, please be sure to give me a like and a follow. Now, it's not necessary to do the back if you don't want to. Usually, you're going to hang this on the wall or maybe add it to a display basket or so most people aren't going to see the back, but I like to have a completely finished product, front and back. It's just my preference, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do this. So once that is dry, as you can see, that Crackle Medium that we put in between the two colors gave us a beautiful crackle effect. And now I'm giving it a coat of Mod Podge as we are going to apply a rice paper image to the top here. And I know I pulled the image off camera, but I'm just tearing the edges that I can't sand off. So just the top edge there of that paper, because that's what's going to be seen. A torn edge blends better into the background than a straight edge does, so I always tear the edges of my image. So once I have placed my image where I want it, I'm using my gator sander here to sand off all the excess paper. And sanding the edges also helps kind of blend that paper into the background. Now, you don't have to crackle underneath your image like I did, because it will show through if you crackle it under an image. It'll show through the image itself. I personally wanted that look for this particular project, as the image itself has some crackle in it. So it just added to the aged look. But you can skip that step if you don't want the crackle to show through on your image. So, and now I'm just applying Mod Podge with just using a soft bristle fan brush to the top to seal it in. Well, the top and the edges. And here you see me cleaning it up a little bit around the handle. It wasn't really necessary. We're going to add a bow. So, and this is a dark finishing wax from Bear that I picked up at Home Depot. And I'm using a makeup brush that I picked up at the Dollar Tree to apply it. And I did apply that to the front and back. I apply a good thick coat and then wipe some of that off with a paper towel. And then I took my gator tool and just kind of sanded the sides and the edges of the back a little bit to give it more of a chipped paint look, just to add to the aged effect. Again, the back isn't necessary. I personally do that just because I'm a little OCD and I like my craft to be completely finished front and back. But again, you can skip that. And this is a Distress Oxide that I ordered on Amazon, and the color is Black Soot, and I just kind of rubbed that along the edges just to give it blacken it a little and just add to the aged effect. And this bow, I unfortunately made it off camera. I didn't realize my camera wasn't still running, so I apologize for that. But then you can just make a messy bow, and I hot glued it on there. And you can see the crackle. Some of that was actually on the image, and some of it's the crackle from underneath that is showing through. I think it turned out super cute. And here's a couple more I did. This one's more patriotic, and it just gives you an idea of different shapes and designs you can do with these cutting boards. And then here's a third one. And then this is what I did with mine. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.